In this video, we're still going to be looking at our periodic functions. So this is part 3 video. We got a different example. So by now, you should at least be getting a feel of how we go about answering these questions. The trick in these questions is to check the wording in itself and whatever value that you are given within. So the first thing first, it's for you to be able to determine which one is going to be your starting point and to also identify your circle. By your circle, I mean if you are given the information of a full circle or you are given the information of a half circle. So this example, it reads, the brightness of a star H in suitable units increases and it decreases periodically. The maximum of H is 4. The maximum is 4 and the minimum is 1. So they say the time between the maximum brightness and minimum brightness is 8 days. So one thing to also note in this example, sometimes they would give you a question that requires you to work the difference between the maximum and the minimum. Sometimes they would give you an answer that looks like this. And also you have to note each and every time when you're working your period, you always use the information that you are getting for your maximum and your minimum. So, and you know, if they are only talking about this distance, that okay, from maximum to minimum you only have 8, that means they have already given us half of what we want in our in our graph that we have to draw. So instead of having something like this, they would have given us something like this. It's just that no, I don't know the shape of the graph, but I just give an example. If in case this is my minimum and this is my maximum, it means I'm only given information up to this point. Then if I have for instance information that like okay, for this one we have 8, then I will know that if I'm given half of 8, it means to find my full period I would have to multiply my 8 by 2, then it means I'm going to get that 16. So those are just some of the things that we have been dealing with in the past videos. So you also remember that we are going to be having our 4 quadrants. How do we get our 4 quadrants? We'll always take our period and divide it by 4. If you get it by 4, you're going to get your 4, meaning here you're going to have your 4. 4 plus your 4, you get your 8. 8 plus 4, you get you get your 12. Then 12 plus 4, you get your 16. Or we said the another way is that like you start from the center and you're going to say you have your 8 plus 0, that's 8, then divide by 2, you get your 4. If you want to find this one in the middle, you have your 16 plus 8. 16 plus 8 is 24. 24 divided by 2, that gives you your 12. So those ones are just a quicker way to just like throw it. If you're already comfortable, you would have even thrown this one first. Then now another information that you have to check, it's where they give you something like your starting point. Normally you check within this range. They say something like h of h is equal to f of t is either a cos or sine function. Okay, so they just estimating. They say let f of 0 is equals to 4. So we check this is where we're going to be having our starting point. Then our starting point is going to be at what? At 4, which is going to be a maximum. So it's going to be starting at a maximum. So let's okay, let's not draw it first. We can start by doing some of the calculations first. That okay, let's start by the period. We know that our period is given as 2 pi over b. Then now b, it's our period. Then we have 2 pi over our period. We said it's going to be 16. How do we get that 16? There's this 8 multiplied by 2. So within this information, the distance between the minimum and maximum, it's 8 days. But we said we want a full cycle, and this is half cycle. If we want a full cycle, we're going to be using the 16 as given. So okay, so what would be that? That would be the same as having your pi over 8. Then another one that we have to determine, it's what? It's our amplitude. We said we have half into maximum minus minimum. We will have half into 4 minus 1. This is the same as having 3 over 2. You see? So can even use 1.5. Then and now we're going to determine vertical shift. You can call it your D. You have your max plus your minimum, your min divided by 2. That is your 4 plus 1 divided by 2. Then you get your 2.5. You see? So since we got those values, it means now we can go and try and plot our graph. We can say here that's where we're going to be having that 8. Here we can say this is where we're going to be having that 16. Then I'm just gonna draw the dotted lines like that. Okay, the minimum, it's 1. We'll also do it. The minimum, it's 1. I'll just do it like that. Then the maximum, it's 4, which is there. Then where do we start? Okay, they said we're going to be starting where? At 4. It means now we're going to be having something like this. Then now we have to go to the maximum. One thing to note, the maximum point will always be in your middle. So go to the middle, then we draw something like that. So we forgot to write that line. I'm gonna write it like this. Then the last point we know is still going to be along the same plane. So now we just have to draw our graph. That okay, our graph is going to be something like that, but you're going to write it nicely and then on a proper scale. So for you, it's just going to be a nice concave up shape. So a nice concave up shape, which means this is a positive cos graph, because we said we can notice a positive graph shape by concave up, then a negative one by concave down. So now what do we have to write? We still have 1.5, which is here in the middle, or almost in the middle, so it's going to be touching there. We move it also there, so it means somewhere there and there. But if you're using a ruler, the points are just going to be coming out nicely. The points are going to be coming out nicely. Then we said we're always going to be having 1, 2, 3, 4 quadrants. So that's why we always take this 1, the period, we divide it by 4. Then whatever value that you get, you add it going up. Then you get your 4 plus 8. It's 4. It's 0 plus 4 gives you 4. 4 plus 4 gives you 8. 8 plus 4, it's going to give you 12. 12 plus 4 is going to give you 16. Another way you remember, I said you can be working from the middle, then considering going that side, and also considering going that side. if I'm here and I'm trying to work the one in the middle, I will say 8 plus 0, it's 8, divided by 2, it gives me 4. Then if I'm trying to work this one in the middle between this one and this one, I will take 16 and add it with 8, then it's going to give me 24, divided by 2 is going to give me my 12. So that's basically how you get your answers in the middle. So now we're ready to draw the final equation. So we can say we will have our h as what? As our 1.5. It's 1.5 cos of pi over 8 t, then plus 2.5, that vertical shift, plus 2.5. So sometimes we do write these formulas a little bit differently. I use my a this side. Sometimes they would start with the vertical shift, but as long as you got the interpretation correct, that's all that that matters. So we also check that, okay, our graph, we said it's positive, so it means our final equation is going to be like this. It's going to be a positive one. And hopefully after doing this last example, you will be able to do more examples in the test and also in the exam by yourself, and you won't no longer feel uncomfortable when it comes to such things. So yeah, I expect you to at least get full marks when it comes to this question. So yeah, if you find these examples and the content I share useful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you in another video that you guys suggest.